Brought to you by Penguin.
Bloody Awful in Different Ways by Andrev Walden. Read by Krogh Stone. For Mum. NB. Not in a passive-aggressive way. Once upon a time, I had 7 dads in 7 years. This is the story of those years. If anything sounds made up, then you can be sure that it is true. Like the thing with the rat and the hamster. Or the girl with the barbecue spice clown lips. I don't intend to make up anything in particular, because the particulars stick in the memory and don't need making up. If I do make anything up, then it is tucked away in the most mundane parts, like the colour of a cushion on a sun lounger in a fisherman's hut where something of note took place. Part 1. The Plant Magician, in which Santa is beaten, a secret comes out, and men and stones change names. He crouches down and looks me in the eyes. "You have 2 noses," he says. I check, as if it is necessary to refute the assertion. I don't understand what he means, but I do understand that he is going to explain, because I can see a smile creeping about in his beard. He's beautiful when he smiles. Those pale greyish-blue eyes don't appear to belong to the rest of his head, because they're fitted inside a frame of black curls. But the colours don't clash. On the contrary, he is the light in his own darkness. His gaze sparkles like a salmon's back in a seaweed forest, lending him the ability to enchant. And once again, I am enchanted. "Follow my lead," he says, raising a hand in the gap between our faces. There is sap on his cuticles. He's going to teach me one final thing before we part forever, and I follow his lead, but take care to hate him. It's only been a few months since I learned that I've never been his son, and sometimes I forget that I've been liberated from the obligation to love him. When it comes to hate, I'm still on my L plates, but I'm starting to get really good at it. I have found the keynote and allow it to resonate within me as I raise my hand and place it in front of his. The plant magician is going to teach me one final thing. But I shouldn't start there. I have most assuredly already done so, but I think the attempt should remain, given its aptness as a bridge to a dramaturgical arc. I want to begin with the day when he stopped being my dad, because it was so odd and I have such vivid memories of the oddness. But first, I suppose I need to explain what a plant magician is. I fear that your mind's eye may already be lingering upon some kind of druid clad in a wadmal tunic, but he didn't dress like that. The man I called Dad wore blue dungarees and gloves of earth. In the summer, he wore nothing else. In the winter, he donned granninge boots and a vegetable-dyed woolly jumper worn over the braces. My mother had dyed the wool. While you repaint the picture in your mind's eye, I want to emphasize the bit about him being beautiful. You've got to make him beautiful. Otherwise, the logic around him falls apart. He was the kind of man that beautiful women knit woolly jumpers for. He was the kind of magician who gets laid. That much I know for sure, because I saw him do it. "Love shouldn't be hidden from children," he said, letting us tumble about the bed while he had sex with our mother. I scrambled to the foot of the bed and listened to their breathing. I didn't like it. He made her sound like a witch. I was afraid that she would have a witch's face if I looked, so I didn't. Instead, I allowed my gaze to roam over the walls. There was a peculiar painting hanging over the bed, the god of seasons. He had pea pods for eyelids, corn cobs for ears, spring onions for shoulders, and a whopping big squash in shades of grey and green for a chest. He was formidable to look at, an apple-cheeked demon. But the plant magician swore he was good. When the witch sounds had fallen silent, he stood up and touched the frame, as if thanking the demon, before stepping into his dungarees and disappearing into the garden. He always had plenty to be cracking on with, and his mission on Earth was important, so important that the state paid him a wage to devote himself to it. The man I called Dad was a state-remunerated plant magician. You don't have...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?